What's going on, guys? Josh here with the Alpha and Omega Survival School. Today we're going to be talking about Altoids Tin Survival Kit and what I have in mind. Stick around. Alright guys, so before we get into the Altoids kit stuff, I wanted to bring up something. I just posted my knife collection video, and I did that mainly just for a fun thing for me. It's a pretty long video, so if you want to go in there and check out some of what I've got, you can do that. Don't feel like you have to watch the whole video, obviously, because it is fairly long. But I pulled out my hunting bag, which was stowed away since it's in the middle of the summer now, and I actually had more knives in the bottom of that, so I just want to show a couple of those to you. They're not really anything I carry with me hunting. One of them I do once in a while, but this is a knockoff Marine core dagger. I picked it up at a Wings. If you don't know what a Wings is, then you're not from the beach, but it's basically a knick-knack store to catch tourists and sell them things that they don't need. So, but I was down on the island, not too far from here, and I saw this, and it was 14 bucks. Not bad, just for a blade. And basically what I did with it was pop the scales off, because it had some really cheap plastic scales. Popped them off and wrapped a paracord handle. And basically what I would plan on doing with this is turning it into a spear point. I could take the paracord off and then, you know, fit it in, and then use the paracord along with these and wrap it and have a nice spear point. So that's mainly it for this one, but I just wanted to show it to you. Stainless, China, double-edged, which I love, because if I were to use it as a spear point, that would be beneficial. So, cheap nylon sheath here, but not bad. I don't think, but I think it's kind of crappy that they, you know, put United States Marine Corps on here, but whatever. Anyway, the other ones I have are actually throwing knives, and this one I actually did the same thing with, because I do a little bit of throwing, but this one also would be useful as a spear tip. You can tell this one's been thrown. Not a lot, but so yeah, same deal here. Just use this. I could fit this in and then wrap it. Use it as a spear point. Like I said, again, cheap, really, I mean, flimsy sheath. I don't carry this one on my belt even when I'm throwing them, because the point sticks right through the end. I don't want to poke myself. Alright, and then these, a little bit smaller. They have a rubberized handle and a lanyard hole, but the sheath on these is better, a little bit sturdier. And these are nice. They're easy to throw. So anyway, I just wanted to show you guys that before I moved on to something else. But yeah, if you get a hankering, go and check out my knife collection. Probably not as extensive as some of you guys have, but there's a few blades in there, so check those out. Anyway, so let's move on. Alright, so moving on to the Altoids Survival Kit. Basically, I pulled out everything that I have in it, and I'm going to show everything. There's a list and it'll show what each thing can do for you in a survival situation on Instructables. If you don't have that app, I would highly suggest downloading it. It is free. Just making an account. You can look up almost anything on there and see how it's made and what it can do. Da 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 da. And but my Instructables, you look it up. It's J Barry 15. And it's listed on there, and you can look and see exactly. There's a list of it there, and what each thing can do. And there's a fairly extensive explanation for each thing I put in there. Anyways, so in the bottom of my kit, first of all, you have to have the Altoids tin, obviously. And I enjoy Altoids, so it's not just like I'm going out and buying the tin. I actually like the Altoids too. But in the bottom I have a 12-inch by 12-inch square of aluminum foil. And this one actually might be 24-inch by 24-inch. But anyway, I fold it up. I'm not going to unfold it. I keep this in the bottom. Tin foil, many uses, reflector, cooking. You can make a fish lure out of it if you had to. Spoon, whatever. Tin foil is very useful. And then I have some medical stuff. I have 3 adhesive bandages, and I have an alcohol prep pad. Now obviously this isn't going to be your survival kit. This is something that you keep on you at all times, and it takes care of what I like to call the right now situation. So, you know, the first thing you should do in an emergency is check yourself for injuries and take care of that situation. So alcohol prep pad is going to help sterilize, and then the bandages, obviously nothing huge here, but hopefully you would have something else on you. Like I try and carry a bandana once in a while. If not, you can always cut up a shirt. You know, in an emergency, if it has to be done, you do it, and that's that. Alright, so I also have this is Tylenol. Actually, it's wrapped in plastic, and then I wrapped it in duct tape to keep it from getting wet, but it's just a few of the rapid release gels, and I'll probably go in before too long and either replace them, or if they're doing okay, just to make sure. But I have them in here. Sewing kit, small sewing kit, has a needle, bunch of different threads. I just found this one day. I was like, hey, that's flat, I'll throw it in there, and could be useful, especially the needle. Even if you don't use the thread, needles can work wonders. And I might have gone a little overboard with this, but I have a small box of single edge razor blades, and to me, razor blades, it's, for one, I put a whole box in here because they're thin and they can break, and razor blades can be very useful for cleaning, skinning, whatever, cutting anything, and these are very sharp and they'll get the job done. Along with that, I have the pocket knife, and I did show this one in my knife collection, so that's in that video too. But it's just a small 3-blade, excuse me, 3-blade pocket knife. Fits perfectly in the Altoids tin. It's the perfect length. Always good to have some kind of a pocket knife on you. And then I have, of course, a little fire kit. I have some matches and a striker held together with a rubber band. These are waterproofed, and I waterproofed these myself using candle wax. And in these straws, I have cotton. pieces of cotton ball wedged in there, and this one keeps trying to pop out. I should heat them up and cinch them so they're waterproof. Note to self. So there's that. And then I've had some people ask why, but I carry a small stick of hot glue. Now, I've heard of people putting super glue in their kits, but I believe hot glue is going to be a little bit more durable, and once I have a fire lit, I can drip this on whatever I need and seal it, whether it be sealing one of my spear points or whatever. I would, and I might do some shuffling around and remove a couple things, but I'd like to put a mini bic in here too, and then have this in there with the mini bic, because that would be a little bit more useful than with a match or having to light a fire first. But anyways, I believe this will be a little bit more useful than super glue. So, excuse me, I have that. I have a couple small zip ties. I have a small spool of floss. Mainly that would be used for binding whatever. And then I have a couple sticks of charcoal. Now this could be used for writing. It could be used to light, to help keep fire lit, because this does, with the slightest amount of spark, this charcoal turns right into an ember and it just stays that way, and that can always be helpful as well. I have a couple nails. My thinking here would be to either use the hot glue or something to make a prong, something like that, for a fish spear, or even crayfish, whatever, something that I could have a prong or something like this. I should have a third one actually, then I can use it to do something like that. And then I have some fishing line wrapped around a kind of a makeshift spool out of a paper clip. That's about 20 feet. And it's this is 20-pound test, I believe. I think it's 20-pound test. Always go as big as you can without getting too bulky. Now I would prefer to use the braided line if I wasn't afraid it would get tangled up inside this thing, because then I could go all the way up to 100-pound test and not have anything taking up too much room. But that's besides the point. And then along with the fishing stuff in the lid, I didn't take this stuff out, but I have a small fishing kit made up in the lid. Now I'd like to get some strip magnets and put in here instead of tape, because then that way it would just stick. I could pull it right off instead of having to untape it. But I have a couple small lures, a spoon, some hooks, and a swivel. And that is just enough to get a meal, basically, once in a while. Like the old saying says, you give a man a fish, he eats for a day, but you teach a man to fish, and he eats for a lifetime. It's very practical. And last but not least, I have a couple paper clips, and you can make a fishing hook. You can do so much with just so little. And like I said, I have a little bit more extensive list of uses on that Instructable. But being me, I didn't go on and write all these things down because I don't want to take up a whole lot of your time today. But that's pretty much it for the Altoids Survival Tin, guys. And yes, it does all fit in here. I'll show you just now. I usually put the foil in first, and then I have my bandages in there, prep pad, Tylenol, pocket knife, razor blades, sometimes it takes a little shuffling around to get everything to fit just right, but if you pack it right and you know how to pack, shouldn't be a problem at all. Matches, cotton, nails, charcoal, zip ties, paper clips, hot glue, sewing kit, and last but not least, floss. And of course, as you saw before, I keep rubber bands on the outside because it likes to pop open. The lids on the Altoids tins aren't really the best as far as latching. So, and the rubber bands I change out once in a while just to keep them fresh because they do dry out and snap. There you go. All that fits right in a pocket or in a zipper pocket on a bag or something like that, and you're good to go. Alright guys, that is the Altoids Tin Survival Kit. Like I said, Instructables, JBERRY15 on Instructables, and you can check that out. The website is instructables.com if you'd like to see the full list. And but other than that, like usual, check out the Bible verse in the description box below. And as always, have a great day. Thanks, guys.